She had not fully pulled out. Listen. So as I was looking out the window, one of the things that I thought about was this: your spiritual journey, it looks different than anyone else's. Okay, and the reason being is because you are unique. The reason being is because you came here for something completely, it's something different. Everything is according to your perception of where you see things. And the other day, I was on Facebook, and it was this content creator that was on here, and I pop upon her videos every now and then. And I had seen one of her videos where, as though, she talks about spirituality a lot. And first of all, let's get something straight. Okay, spirituality is you being authentic to you. All right. And I know a lot of times, like, we may have been a part of religion and left religion. And now it's like, you putting yourself in the same exact box that religion may have put you in. Or you allowing people to put you in this box that religion had put you in, right? So you may hear people who say that's all spiritual, right? They may say, and let me tell you something, I believe we are all spiritual. We all having a spiritual experience, okay? Some people that spiritual, that when I first had the veil lifted a little over from my eyes, one of the things that I started watching, like, a lot of conscious videos, okay, so many conscious videos. And then it came a point in time in my life where, as though I said, no, not while I was spiritual. Well, I was spiritual always, honey, but before the veil came a little from my eyes, I remember I would listen to a lot of conscious stuff, right? And the conscious stuff, they would talk about, they would talk about the government. They would talk about following holidays, and all these different things. Hey, Tracy, happy New Year's. Oh, and happy New Year's, by the way. Okay, now a part of me is still like, this is not New Year's. Okay, a part of that is still in me. But I remember listening to a lot of people who was like in a conscious community, and they would say, like, this is not, like, for instance, this is not the real New Year's. The real New Year starts in April, and all these different things, right? And you're not supposed to celebrate Christmas. And so what I started realizing was, like, I left one box, okay? If the box was religion, okay, well, if you do this, you're going to hell, that little fork load or whatever it is that we've been conditioned and told to believe, that we don't, if we don't pretty much put people before us, we going to hell. If you voice your opinion, that's why you walk on eggshells, because you feel like what you grew up seeing and what you grew up conditioned to believe, right? You too sassy or whatever it is, you talk back, you're not supposed to have a voice of your own. All those things, it affects when you grow up. Okay, when you become an adult, that's why you don't say some of the things that you want to say. You want to be politically correct all the time because you're afraid, because you like, when I did this when I was a child, I would get in trouble, right? And so you grow up with this whole with this whole theory that you're gonna get in trouble, from God, whatever. But what really got me on this topic, so the young lady, she was doing a video, and she talks about manifestation. She talks about a lot of things. And somebody, she had went grocery shopping, when she had like a bag of Doritos in her cart. And oh, honey, boy, was they waiting for her. The spiritual police, the ones that's looking, they not happy with their lives. Okay. Because let me tell you something. It's some things where, as though I wasn't doing, and I had to take a step back and look, like, why I'm not doing this? Oh, because they told me not to do it. All right, so let me not do it. Okay. And so it was a part of me that felt like, damn, I'm living based upon what somebody else telling me I shouldn't or should not do. And so I said, oh, And then one person that I used to follow, like watch and stuff like that, and this person went by all the rules, supposedly, it was in the spiritual community and in the conscious. He went by all the rules, and I seen the way he turned out, and I said, oh no, okay, oh no, no. You have to be able to think for yourself. You have to be able to be authentic to you, not based upon somebody telling you, oh, you should live your life like this. As if you eat Doritos, you less spiritual. Or if you eat a cake, you less spiritual. Like I mean the insanity of that is horrendous. It's crazy. So the lady, she's in, got a bag of Doritos, and boy, did they come for her. Started saying she's not really spiritual. She shouldn't be eating it. Do she even know what they put in there? Like all this stuff. They start saying all this stuff. And so she came on there and she said, she came on there and she made a video about it. And she said, that does not make me less spiritual because I eat Doritos. And she said, if I want to eat Doritos every now and then I could eat a bag of goddamn Doritos. That's their life. And by you, acting all holier than thou. Because I remember it was once upon a time, I did want me a piece of chicken, a piece of fried chicken, okay? A piece of chicken from the chicken shack. Jack. I wanted a piece of chicken. And I remember I was doing a vegan thing. And I would be like, oh, you shouldn't be eating that. But honey, that fried chicken smelled it so good to me. That fried chicken, okay, with a little bit of Frank's Hot. Okay, a little bit of Frank's Hot. It smells so good. And I would be saying, oh, you should be eating that and all this other stuff. And honey, behind closed doors, I was dipping and dabbing with the chicken. Okay, so much so that I was in a relationship with somebody and we went to this bakery and I was doing a live video on Facebook and me and him went to the bakery and I was eating myself. I got some granola stuff and I got like a vegan cupcake or something. And he had like something that had milk and stuff in there. And he thought that I was going after his stuff. And I was like, just fronting on social media, on Facebook. I was like, he was like, you ain't getting none of mine. And I was like, I don't want yours. I don't even eat that. And he was like, just like you said you don't eat chicken, but you ate my chicken last night. Oh, chill. The gloves was off. Let's go, Joe. Okay. I was so heated with him. I said, why would you do that? Like I was heated with him because he put me on Front Street. And I was like, why would you do that? I feel attacked that you trying to like you don't want to see me succeed making content. Okay. Why would you put that out on Front Street? And so then after that, I said, shit, okay, I'm human. Right? Okay. I'm telling you guys not to do this and not to do that. A hypocrite. Okay. Telling you not to do this and not to do that. But here I am behind the scenes eating a chicken. I was eating a chicken. I was frying a chicken. I was still cooking chicken and stuff like meats and stuff for my children and him. And for me, I mean, I was eating like mushrooms and stuff like that, but I wanted a piece of chicken, And so I was so concerned with like still, right, having this perfect image, not wanting people to think like, I don't have it all figured out or all put together. But one thing I realized is people connect with you. Oh my goodness. I want you to really hear this. People connect with you so much better when you don't have it figured out. Because who has it all figured out? No one. Okay. And people connect with you so much more when you don't have it all figured out. Because they like, oh my goodness, I remember I did that. I remember, and some people still do it. And they connect with you so much more. So by you being your authentic self, okay, and showing people like, all right, this is me. I don't have it all figured out, but that's okay. I'm getting clarity, okay? I'm receiving the clarity. And that's really what it's about. It's not about you wanting your journey to be like someone else's journey. Because when you are wanting your journey to be like somebody else's journey, guess what? You lose out. You lose out on your journey because now you like, oh well, I want my life to be like this. You know, it's like you watching them too much. You watching them, and how could you really have fun and be in the now moment if you constantly watching what the next person is saying? And if you're not even tuning in with what you want, what you want, or some of the things that you desire, you know, we are all here on an assignment. Okay. And as long as you like, well, I can't do this because of this, you know, I can't do this because of that. I can't do that. I can't do that because, you know, people gonna think of me a certain way. I can't do this because I remember listening to Bobby Hemmitt. Okay. If you guys have not heard of Bobby Hemmitt, honey, come on. Okay. But I remember I was listening to him, and one of the things he talked about was the ego. And he said that he remembered he was so broke. Okay. He said he was like really, really broke. And he needed a job. He was in college and he needed a job so bad. He was so afraid to get a job, to be, I think, like either a busboy, like, you know, working at the restaurant. He was so, here he is. He said it in his video. There he was. He needed money so bad, but he was so afraid of other people's opinion of him that at first he wouldn't take the job because he was so afraid. And I really enjoyed that video that Bobby Hemmitt did because it showed, like, you know, all of us are learning as we navigate this here thing called life. And he said, you know, Bobby Hemmitt, the one who read all these books, you know, spiritual teacher, you know, somebody that, you know, talks to so many millions of people. And here he was, and he was telling this story. And he said he was so afraid. He needed a job, but he was so afraid to work and wash the dishes or something at this restaurant. He was so afraid to do it because what if somebody seen him? What if somebody seen him? Let me share this story with you guys. So a year ago, I believe it was, or 2 years, my oldest son, who is 22, he had this car. Okay. He would buy these cars because he would, like me, like I used to be, wanting this stuff real, real quick, impatient. And so, you know, when you're impatient, you just want things really, really fast, right? You start looking past certain things, right? And so my oldest son, he wanted a car really bad. So he got this car, this little hoopty. It was a Honda, okay. And the car, it was okay. He worked on the car. I was very impressed because the way he was taking things apart and it was good. So anyway, so me and my oldest son, we was in a car one day. We was coming from this place that is, oh, where is that? Palisades. Okay. Palisades is like Bergen County. I mean, is gorgeous up there. But it's this restaurant that we go. It's, you know, it's a little restaurant. It's a restaurant that we go to. It's called, damn it, what is it? It's a chicken spot. It's a Korean chicken spot, right? Oh my goodness. The chicken is chicken. Okay, the chicken was chickening. Okay, so we go to this spot, and we've been going there for, you know, quite a bit. And so this one day, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm a treat. We gonna go there. So we go there. We pick up the chicken and stuff, the chicken and fries, and then they also have like this fermented, fermented cabbage, but it's not kimchi. It's like this fermented cabbage, like these square blocks, right? And so we up there, we eating and stuff like that. And so we on our way coming back because he's dropping me off. He's in a rush. He's going to hang out with his friends, right? So he's dropping me off. We go through to the Easy Pass thing, and then it was a truck that had hit us, right? And so while I'm coming home and stuff like that, so he had to pull over. I called 911, the police, and whatever, right? So my oldest son, because the car was like messed up, like the window, it like fell in, okay, because the force of the truck hitting us, the window got smashed, right? The driver window got smashed, and the door was a little dented in, and then also the mirror outside, the rear view mirrors on his side had got broken. So my oldest son, he didn't want to really drive the car no more until it got fixed. But not me, honey, not me. I was he would say, oh, you could just take the car. Honey, I was doing Dollar Trees like nobody business. Okay. I didn't give a damn who seen me. Okay. With a broken window, with the door coming. I didn't care. I did not care. My whole focus was I need to make some content. Okay. I was going everywhere. Honey, I was driving I was cold, okay? Because when you driving, it was wintertime. I was cold. The wind was coming as I was driving. One day it was snowing, chill. But I was like the little engine that could out there, okay? I still was driving. Hands on the thing, I was still driving, okay? I did not care. Because other people's perception of me, they wasn't gonna make the content for me. Okay, you can't do that. But they wasn't gonna do that. They wasn't finna put money in my pocket. They wasn't finna pay anything. So why would I care about what the hell they doing? And I told my oldest son, I said, you don't want to drive there because of what other people gonna think of you. And he was like, no, that's not it. But honey, soon as he got the window, the door, and everything fixed, honey, he was driving that car into the wheel and until it wouldn't drive no more. But I didn't care. That didn't faze me. My whole focus was I need to earn money. And the best way I'm gonna do it is the best way, and it's working. I'm gonna do Dollar Tree whores. I was in Clifton. Okay, Clifton is probably 3 towns away from me. I was in Clifton. I was in Nutley. I was everywhere. Okay, driving everywhere. I did not give a darn. And that is something that you are going to have to face, like this part where as though you I don't give a damn what people think of me. And then at times the ego will present certain things. Like it'll say, oh yeah, don't wear this, people gonna think this, or don't do this, people gonna think that. I remember one time the guy who owned this property, I remember when he first was buying it, and this was I first started meditating and stuff like that. And I had some throw pillows on the floor. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to get them up, right? Because it was like the realtor was coming, and then the guy who owned the property now, he was coming. And I was like, I gotta get this up, it has to be perfect in here. And I remember, it's not a problem when the ideas come up or when the ego tell you something. That's not the problem. What it is for you to look at it and say, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not living for them. And so I remember when they came in, it was just throw pillows on the floor. And I was so oh, let me pick them up. And then I was like, no, I'm not picking them up. I know the apartment majority, most of the time it's clean. I'm not doing it. And then it was this other time that he had the guy had came here. And he had brought an electrician to check the outlets and stuff. And I had pots. I had 2 pots on the stove, right? One, it was fish or something in it, and I was eating. And it was a part of me, like right in that instant, the ego, hurry up and clean it. You know, they coming up here, hurry up and clean it. You don't want them to think certain ways of you. You don't want them to think certain things of you. And I remember I was like, I'm not doing it. Nope. They see whatever they see. I'm not doing it. I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to do that. Because what it mainly is all in your mind. See, you thinking that, oh, they gonna think that you nasty or whatever it is like that. Okay. But you're not living for them. And I know, okay, because when I was a kid, all right. Hey Johnny, peace to you, peace to you. Happy New Year's to you too. I remember when I was a kid, my mama, she would make me sweep the rug so many times a day because no lint could be on the floor, on the rug. And so my cleanliness, I get from my mother and my aunt. Okay. And so, is points where as though I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not, like going out of my way. It's okay if you was gonna do those things anyway. But when you like, oh, well, I gotta hurry up and do this because I don't want people to think a certain way of me. The momos are not thinking. Let me say that again. The momos, they're not thinking. Okay. They're not that. Their perception of you is not even their perception of you. Hey, Mason, peace to you, happy New Year's. Their perception is not even their perception. Is they probably their mother, okay, installed this thing in them, and now they look at you a certain type of way. But that's not even, they never checked in with themselves to see like what's their problem, with you or what. They never did any of that. They just took some idea that somebody had gave them and ran with it. That was it. That was it. And so you got to ask yourself, am I going to keep on living for these people? Because as long as you living for them, is you being a sellout. You being a sellout to yourself. Oh, I can't do this because what would they think of me? I can't eat this because of what would they think of me? I can't do, all these different, because what would these people think of me? How would they look at me? The people not thinking, they not looking, and if they are looking, honey, one of the things that I always say, why are they so focused and so invested on what you got going on? That means they not living. You understand that? You get that? Like if they so focused on what you got going on, they just not living. Because there's no way you could be enjoying your life and focusing on what you got going on that you give a damn about what somebody else is doing. And it's always people that are not rocking out to their life that have the most to say. So stop feeling like because you spiritual, you can't eat this, you can't do that, you can't do that. Oh, it'll get better. It'll get better. So stop thinking that you can't do all these different things, because somebody else's perception of you. And another thing, when you get upset because what somebody have said, you have to go within and say, why do I feel so upset? Like have anybody ever said something to you and like it almost like hit a nerve? It hit a nerve and you felt like I gotta tell this person off. Like I gotta tell them off. Like yesterday, okay, I had to send somebody a message. I had to send somebody a message like, who gave you the audacity to tell me what I could do and what I can't do? Okay. And it was about the person. and I felt like I said some things. I sent a few messages, and I went on ChatGPT and I was talking to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was saying, like, basically, like, it's like a wound or something, like that person had hit. And why do you feel this way? Like ChatGPT, the therapist, like, why do you feel this way, Dina? And we went through it. And then I'm like, oh, like sometimes you have to sit and analyze and say, like, why I do the things that I do. It's not about, the conscious community you listening to the conscious community, people telling you this, it's not about what the government got going on. What it's about is, why do you do what you do? That's what it's about. Like, because what the government and everything, all these different things outside you got going on, that's not going to change your life. But what's going to change your life is you taking a look at your life and being aware, okay, know thyself, being aware and saying, why do I do what I do? You got to know why you do what you do. Because if you don't, you keep on doing the same exact thing. And don't beat yourself up. Like, this book is called The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power by Vernon Howard. Chef Kiss is so good. And one of the things Vernon Howard says in that book, he says, when you angry, you don't try to facade it. You don't try to, act like you're something you don't act like, oh, but I'm not angry, when you're really angry. You don't do that, because guess what? It's gonna get bigger if you don't face it, if you don't address it, it stays there. Okay, you just like bottling it up, and then guess what? One day it's going to explode. So you don't get upset because you feeling anger or you feeling jealous or whatever. You don't get upset at those things. You look at it. Why do I feel this way? What makes me feel this way? You look at those things and then you address it. You start dissecting it. And one of the things Vernon Howard said in his book, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power, he said, you don't get upset. You don't be like a child that's in the 6th grade and be upset because you in the 6th grade when you really desire to be in the 7th. You don't get upset with it. You don't get upset because you are where you currently are on your spiritual journey. You are where you are. You don't get upset and say, well, you know what? I should be further along. If you was supposed to be further along, believe me, you would be further along. And there's so many lessons in the now, right? It's so many lessons in where we currently are right now. But if your whole theory is, I need to be further along, I'm going to be happy once X, Y, and Z, all these different things, you missed it. So, I love you guys. Continuously rock out. Believe in yourself. And I wanted to do a video because, I thought about that young lady and I was like, oh my goodness, it's so true. People have these like different boxes that they want to put you in, but they can't put you in unless you allow them to, right? When somebody say, oh, you spiritual, you're not supposed to do this. And then you're like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm not supposed to do this. Now you're living for them. You're living for them. You're not supposed to do X, Y, and Z. But what if your spirit needs you to go through that? What if you need to go through that in order for you to get a certain lesson from that? What if? But because you're so overly concerned, you can't do this, you can't do that, And then you wonder why your life is a living hell. Because you live in someone else's dreams and yours done turned into a nightmare. This is your life. If you want to eat the Doritos, or if you want to, whatever it is, if somebody say they don't eat it, okay, they don't, that's them. They don't have to eat it. You're not going around saying, oh, you know what, you should eat the Doritos. And, one of the things that really gets me, if you don't eat this, then why are you so upset about what somebody else is eating or what somebody else is doing? If you don't do it, holier than thou, don't do this. Why are you so upset by what somebody else do? Is it because you really want to do it, but you're afraid to do it? Because you know somebody gonna criticize you because you've been acting so holier than thou? Is that why? I think that's why. I think that's why, Bill. Okay? I think that's why. But if it's working for you, you're not trying to convert anyone. That's what I noticed too, about religion. That's one of the things I say. Religion, spiritual, whatever, right? If what you're doing is working so much for you, why I gotta convert you? Why I gotta get you to, to do what I say to do? Like why I need you to convert to my way? Because if it works so well, so good, then the people will look at your life and say, oh my goodness, I don't know. They would be intrigued. They would have the questions. What are you doing? What are you using for your face? Like some of you guys say, what are you using? What you put on your face? Where can I get that African black soap? Right? If it works for you, people will want to know. You don't have to convert. You don't have to convert. Like what is that? Oh gosh. I can't think of the word. Okay, but anywho, right? You don't have to do that because it works. It works. But if you get upset because somebody says something, right? And you like so eager to defend the belief system that you have, then you have to ask yourself, why do you feel like you need to defend it? I remember a few years ago, right? I left one religion, went to another religion, then went to another religion, then went to another religion. I went to all these different religions because I was like, there has to be some truth, and I'm looking for the truth. And then all the religions, but I realized they were pretty much the same. Right? They pretty much all the same. I mean, it's like a fear tactic. You be in this box. You can't do X, Y, and Z. One religion tell you can't do this. The next religion tell you can't do this. Whatever, right? So I get into this religion, right? And I remember I was listening to, this was like, I'm going to the Mars, okay, listening to Louis Farrakhan and all this other stuff. And I remember I was like, God, if this is not what you want me to do, or if this is something that I need to see, show me. So one day I come across, you know how on YouTube they have like the suggested videos, right? And it goes based upon like what you've been watching, what they see you watching. And so it was Louis Farrakhan video, but it was a brother on there who had something. I forgot what it was written underneath, but I turned on to like that video, and then it was like Louis Farrakhan and two other gentlemen who was with Louis Farrakhan, and he was like, the gentleman was like three blind mice. He was like three blind mice. He was like, they following him. He was saying these people was following, these brothers was following Louis Farrakhan. And the brother was saying on a video, who was doing a video, he said like they following him and they just three blind mice. So I was like, okay, right? And so it was a few things like, that talked about the Nation of Islam, like kept on emphasizing like, what white people did and all this other stuff. So as long as you keep on focusing on it, remember, where attention goes, it grows. So if you keep on focusing on that, guess what? You're gonna be thinking like, oh my goodness, white people out to get you. Okay. That's what you're gonna, because when I first moved here, I was like, oh my goodness, because it's predominantly white. I was like, oh my goodness, that if you focus on it so much, that's what you're going to be thinking. And so I left there and then I went to Hebrew Israelites. Now, Hebrew Israelites, and there's no shade to anybody that's a part of it. Honey, you do what works for you. I'm sharing my experience. Hebrew Israelites, they were saying like you got to wear dresses. The women have to wear dresses like pretty much all year round. You can't wear pants. You can't be getting your eyebrows did. I said, the eyebrow? What did the eyebrows do? I didn't understand it. And they was like, I was telling my oldest son, oh, I'm gonna order him this shirt that had like the tassels at the bottom and all this other stuff. And my oldest son, sometimes he bring it up. He'd be like, you remember you said you was gonna order me that shirt? listening to Hebrew Israelite music, right? Like the brothers rap music, didn't have no curses or anything in it, because you want to go to heaven, dear child. You want to go to heaven. Okay. And so you're going to do these things because why? Because the folks told you to. The folks told you that if you listen and you be a good little girl or a good little boy, you're going to heaven. Not realizing that heaven and hell is just frequencies, not realizing that heaven or hell is not a destination, it's just a frequency. And I didn't know none of that. Okay. But anyway, so I'm doing the Hebrew Israelites thing, and I'm wearing the dresses, okay, with the stockings. Kind of cold, okay? Kind of cold. But still was weird, still was doing it, because I want to go to heaven. And then what I realized, my goddamn life was still the same. My life was still the same. I said, what the hell? I did everything you asked me to do, my Lord. I wore the stockings, although I'm cold as hell. I'm wearing the dresses, okay? Wearing the long dresses, looking like a mullet out here. I'm doing all these different things, and I'm cold. And what? And what? Okay? I mean, I had my car and everything, but I still would be cold at times when I get out the car. All right? And then I'm like, what the hell? My life hasn't changed. I stopped getting my eyebrows waxed. My life didn't get better. Okay, I stopped getting the eyebrows waxed. I started making all these different sacrifices, and my life didn't get better. And then I came to the conclusion, you know what? The hell with this. The hell with all of it. You know what? I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay. And I start doing things that people would say, you shouldn't do that. Meaning, I start making videos, start speaking my truth, start getting out of my comfort zone. Okay. The people who told me, oh, you should make these videos. But once I start speaking my truth, okay, I don't really care for doing it. But once I start speaking that truth, people was like, oh, I don't know if you should put that there. I don't know. I don't know if you should be talking, you should be putting oil business out. I know I said, do the videos and stuff like that, but no, I don't think you should be putting all that stuff out on the internet. Right. But I kept on doing it. I kept on doing it. Okay. And so what I'm saying is the reason your life has not gotten better, because one, you unaware, right? Like you don't take the time out and see why you do the things that you tend to do. You just like following what people tell you to do because promises your life is going to be so much better. Things are going to improve, God is going to give you more and all this other stuff. God loves you. God loves you. God has given us everything that we need or want. It's for us to step into the power. It's for us to look at things and say, you know what? And come to a realization that God loves me. God don't want to see me suffer. God don't want me to be in poverty. Like, and start owning in on those things. And it may take some time because the belief systems, I'm telling you, the belief systems, ooh, child, those belief systems. But you capable to relearn or unlearn to relearn. Okay, what you've been taught, what you've been conditioned to believe. So it's for you to look at your life and say, damn it, I deserve better than this. Okay. You mean to tell me, shoot, I'm going to hell for getting my eyebrows? I never understood that. Like, why I'm going to go to hell because I got my eyebrows did. I didn't understand it. Now, granted, I do my eyebrows myself these days. You know, I do have some grays going on here. Ooh, honey, this from when I was outside. Okay, going to the Dollar Tree. Went to the Dollar Tree, whatever. But, you know, why? Why are you going to hell because your eyebrows did? Why? Why are you going to hell because you know, because perhaps you was promiscuous? Why? Why are you going to hell because you was promiscuous? No, you're not going to hell because you was promiscuous. It may feel like you're living in hell because you're promiscuous, because you're looking for love outside yourself, and you feel like, you know, the next person is going to give you love, and the next person is going to give you the affection and the attention and everything else that you've been hoping and seeking and praying and looking for. But they can't give you no more than what you are willing to give yourself. You understand that? Like, if you feel like you can't give yourself love, they definitely can't give it. They definitely can't. Definitely. So when my son, my oldest son, he was saying like, all women are this. I said, listen, homeboy, you better not be dating. Don't you date. Because if you feel like the females are a certain type of way because your heart got broken, then don't get into no relationship. Because when you get in that relationship, let me tell you something. You're going to attract everything that you say. And you can say now, like, oh, no, I believe all females are good and all this other stuff. You can say that, but it doesn't go based upon that. The universe doesn't go based upon that. It goes based upon what you really know, right? You're knowing what you feel is the truth. If you feel that's the truth, that's the truth. So some women, they say all men are dogs, and that's their truth. And so when they get a Fido, a Rufus, okay, it's because they believe that. And there's somebody else that's like, no, my man do X, Y, and Z. You know, my man is the best, right? And they don't, and they may say, girl, he cheating on her too. They don't even know her man. But that's what they believe, because why? Because they have this concept that all men are the same. And they keep on meeting the same exact dudes. Physicalities are different, but it's like the same exact person. It's the same exact person they meeting. They really meeting themselves. Okay? It's a reflection of themselves. And so, you know, you on your spiritual journey, you look at your life and say, why do I do what I do? Why do I do what I do? You know, one time I remember when I was doing videos, well, I still do the videos, but I remember one day I had this realization, right? Whereas though my youngest son and my youngest daughter, I remember I would yell in the morning. Right now, this was before I'm going off to do the Dollar Tree hauls or going off to do Target. At that time, I was doing Target videos, Five Below videos, you know, and I would yell. And then one day I had this realization, like, why do you do that? Like in the mornings, like why do you do that? And then I looked and I said, oh, because I'm a little afraid. I'm a little afraid. That's why. And I had to take a look at that. And then the next days, wouldn't yell as much. Okay. Because then I start becoming aware. It's nothing for you to be afraid of. Okay. You are safe. And I start becoming aware. And so when you're doing certain things, is for you to question yourself. Why do you do that? Why do you make some of the decisions that you make? Why do you allow certain things to affect you? Why do you procrastinate? You need to look at those things. The other day I had got a bill from Sally Mae, okay? And it was pretty much talking about my student loan. Okay, my student loan. And at first, when I opened the thing, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay attention to these damn people. I don't want to call them, right?" And then I remember what somebody said, Narrow Knowledge. He was like, "Whenever you receive something in the mail or whatever it is, somebody told you something, and if you feel like you can't take a look at that, that means subconsciously what you're saying that thing is bigger than you." Subconsciously, you saying, oh, this thing is bigger than me. That's why you don't want to face it. That's why you don't want to deal with it. That's why you keep procrastinating. Or you may feel like you don't believe in yourself. You can't do it. I remember, but I wound up calling them. And I called them. They're gonna send me a package and stuff like that for the student loan, right? Another thing is you have to ask yourself, like, the version of me I desire to be, how would she show up? All right, Dana, you said you earning $20,000 a month. They say you owe $6,000. Okay, they say you owe $6,000. Would the person that's earning $20,000 a month feel that way? Like, oh, that she don't want to open this? No. Cause it's 6,000, but no, she not gonna feel that way. She could do payment plans, no, or she could pay it all off. She's not going to feel that way. And so I started thinking about that, and I said, okay. And so sometimes throughout the day, like I embodied it, before my children take the paper towels. And they may do like three things, okay? 3 or 4 at one time. And I remember I used to be like, oh my goodness, the damn paper towels, right? And then I sit back and I say, Dina, you earning $20,000. You give a damn about paper towels, right? And that's some of the things like to trick your mind and be on time, okay? So that's some of the things that you can do to start changing, shifting. Okay. I remember I had took this this course. It was this guy, I forgot his name, Michael something. But I had paid for his course. And I remember it was this guy, because Michael, who was over the course, we was doing Zoom. We had to do Zoom course. And we would do the Zoom course and he would ask people questions, right? Like during the Zoom course. Hey, Game Bites, peace to you, baby. Peace to you, peace to you. Happy New Year. Okay. And so Michael, he was asking the people, he was like who want to go up and share their story, right? Like why it's something you should do, but you don't do it. Like, why do you keep on procrastinating? Why you keep putting that thing off? So it was this guy, right? And when I heard him say this, I was like, oh my goodness. And it's so true. Like once you get past culture, people are generally the same. Get past the culture, people are generally the same. Okay. Hey, Pity Boo, Peacia, baby, Peacia, Happy New Year's. And Michael, he was like, so he caught this one this one guy, right, to share like what is it something he know he should do, but he don't do it. And so the guy was like, I know I should build, I know I should do my website. I know I should do it. So Michael said, so why don't you do it? Or when you put a time slot, like when you during the day, what do you say to yourself? Like so the guy says, well, I say I'm gonna do my website. And then Michael goes, all right, so do you do it? And the guy says, no. I managed to find something around the house to do, whether there's mowing the lawn. Like I look for other things so I don't have to address doing my website, so I don't have to create the website. Now, the reason why this guy wasn't creating a website, because in the back of in his subconscious mind, he's thinking, why am I creating this website? People not gonna buy from me anyway. That's the type of awareness. That's the type of awareness. Because if you're not aware of that, right? If you just say, well, no, because I really need to mow the lawn. That means oftentimes the people not really aware of it. They're not really aware of it. Now I remember when I was going to get monetized, right, on YouTube. And I remember I took Peach McIntyre course, and one of the things she said was she would look at my videos, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, Dina, you're a beast," because the uploads I would do. But one of the things she said to me, she said you got to keep on going, because one of the things I would do was, if it's good, if it's good, I'm out the hood. No, if it's good, I'm gonna keep on uploading. But when it would be slow days, I would be like, you know what? I'm not uploading all them videos. It's sort of like what my mentor Bob Proctor said to me. Well, he said, you gotta be willing to put the wood in a fire, meaning you got to be willing to do the work and then a fire come. But so many times people want the fire that they're not even willing to put the wood in. They just like, give me the heat, but they don't want to do the work. And before you are that thing, and I love this from Neuro Knowledge, he says this, and I love this. He says, before the world proves it to you, you prove it to yourself. Oh, you heard what I said? Before the world proves it to you, you prove it to yourself. So before the world says, oh, that's that content creator, you need to you need to prove it to yourself. I'm a content creator. I show up every day. I'm consistent, no matter what the numbers are looking like. I'm consistent. That's just the name of the game. That's how I do. That's how I show up. That's how you need to show up. Before the world proves it to you, you need to prove it to yourself. When you like, flip-floppy, wish-washy, inconsistent, right? If you inconsistent with whatever craft it is that you do, your paycheck is going to be inconsistent. Let me say it again, because I don't think you heard me. If you inconsistent with whatever craft you do, you're going to be your paycheck is going to be inconsistent. So you have to be consistent. You have to show up before the world proves it to you. I remember hearing this story of this guy who became a multimillionaire, and this was way back in the day. And one of the things he had said was, now he used to sleep on benches in a park. He used to sleep, and that's why you got to be mindful the way you talk to people, because you don't know who you sitting next to. Okay, you don't know who you sitting next to. But this guy, a person asked him. They said, "Did you know that you would be a multimillionaire?" He said, "I knew I was going to be a multimillionaire when I was sleeping on benches in a park." Before the world proves it to you, you need to prove it to yourself. You say you want to be in shape, but when you feel a little sprinkles, a little rain coming down, you like, the hell with this. I ain't going to no gym today. I ain't going to no gym today. I'm gonna wait until it get hot. Hot? They say summer bodies are made in the winter. And you gonna wait until it get hot? Why? Why prolong what you can do today and put it off for tomorrow? Why? Why? Because it's a part of you that feels like, one, you don't deserve it, you don't believe in yourself, and you're not capable of it. Because you have this inner dialogue. You're not capable of that. Uh-uh. You've been fat all your life. And so you hear this programming day in and day out. And then guess what? You buy into it. You buy into it. And so the first thing that goes left, you're like, the hell with this. Let me get some donuts. And it's not even the donuts per se, it's your perception of the donut. You say, oh, donuts make you fat. It's people that's skinny that eat a lot of crap and they not fat. Another thing you have to ask, what I believe, is it true? What I've been conditioned to believe, is it true? Because you say you eat donuts, donuts make you fat. Listen to that, right? You said that. You eat donuts, donuts make you fat. So what? Guess what? The donuts is going to make you fat. Why? Because that's what you believe. Now somebody else could eat the same amount and they don't get fat. And some people say, oh, their metabolism is just faster than mine. It's not that. It's the belief. It is the belief systems. It is what you have accepted to be true. If you accept it to be true, guess what? It's true for you. I remember when my oldest son telling me, oh, these women and all this other stuff. And then he says, but how come this guy, he got this relationship? And I say to him, first of all, y'all belief systems is different. You believe what you believe. This guy believe what he believe. It's different. That's one. And what you keep on accepting to be true is true for you. Because it's people that's in loving relationships. It's people that absolutely adore the person that they with. But you keep saying that all the women are dogs. Not dogs. All the women are gold diggers or whatever it is like that. And guess what? You find them. You find them because subconsciously, that's what you focus on. You say all women are like that. Is laws in the universe that is going to give you exactly what you say. Like what you deep down inside believe is going to reflect that. Is going to reflect that. Like, listen, I tell you guys, I would do 15 videos a day. Listen to this. 15 shorts. Like the reels, the short videos that's on YouTube or Facebook or we at TikTok. I would do 15 of those per day. Do 3 long form videos that's like over 8 minutes long. I would be taking like 3 trains and then 4 buses. Like I was doing all this work. I was doing all this work. And I remember keep hearing Narrow Knowledge say, he was like, if you believe working hard is going to bring you success, he said, if you believe in something that is not in your best interest, if it's not helping you, it's controlling you. And so I started taking a look at that. And I remember one day I just didn't buy the bus ticket, right? This day I just didn't buy it. And I started going to the Dollar Tree near my house. And day after day, so much content. I mean, so much. And it's right near my house. It's like 10 minutes away. Not even 10 minutes. Not even. Probably like 5 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes walking. It's so near. It's very close. But here I was going, traveling, catching so many buses and trains, and it's all a belief system. I was doing all this stuff. Going it, oh Lordy. And I'm not saying I didn't like it, right? I'm not saying I didn't like it. It was a few times I had to look at the bus seats, okay? And was like, okay. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it, but most of it was I have to do this in order for me to be successful. If somebody would have been like, Dina, is a Dollar Tree, and I was going to the Dollar Tree near my house, but it would be days I wouldn't even go to that Dollar Tree. I would go like 3 towns away, 4 towns away, catching all these buses away. And sometimes I enjoyed it because it was definitely getting me out of my comfort zone. Sometimes, okay? Well, the times, right? But then it was a part like, and I remember, my children, when they would come from school, they would be like, oh, could we go X, Y, and Z? Could we go to the park or whatever? And I would be like, not today. I would say I'm tired, right? I would say, man, not today. And they would be like, all right, well, tomorrow, don't go out, right? They would be like, don't go out until we come from school. Why? Because I was going to all these different stores. I was going to all these different Dollar Trees. And the Dollar Tree is right next to my home. So whatever it is that you believe, right? So if I had this belief, where did the belief first come from? When I was a kid, being told, oh, I was lazy. And so now it's like, I gotta show I felt like I gotta show I'm not lazy. So I had to keep on hustling. Okay. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. All right. So I had to keep on showing up, hustling, right? And then I remember hearing Bob Proctor. Now, Bob Proctor done said this so many times. I done listened to it so many times, but it was a part of me that just was not listening. I heard it, but wasn't listening. And one of the things Bob Proctor said, he said, we have been raised to believe that we need to be good little hustlers, good hustlers. He said, no, be a good giver, because if you're a good giver, it will triumph the hustler, okay? Because you hustling, but when you giving, you shall receive, okay? And so I heard Bob Proctor say that, so many, heard him, but wasn't listening. And now it's easy. It's easy. It's so easy. Nowadays, it's like, and I still have a part of me that's like, all right, let me make more content. Like I have content in my phone. I uploaded already 7 videos today. I uploaded 7 videos today. So I don't have to, I didn't have to do a live video. I was on live on Facebook for like an hour. Then I came over here. I don't have to do it. I feel like doing it. I had that idea that came to me at a young lady with the Dorito thing and the spirituality. I said, oh shoot, let me go to YouTube. Let me go to YouTube, see what they talking about. No, let them stay. Listen, I love you guys. I love you guys wholeheartedly. But please don't push them away. Please don't push the haters away. Now, I know you may not have heard other content creators say this, but please don't push the haters away. I want them to stay. And the reason I want them to stay is because they are setting the algorithm off, okay? I'm going to say this. Every video, okay? Not every, when people, the algorithm is like this. Now, this is a judge-free zone, Okay, my channel is a judge-free zone, but the algorithm, they sure like it. The algorithm, they like the engagement. Okay, so when they commenting and they saying whatever they saying, let them stay. I don't block. Before I would block people, but I ain't blocking. No. What I come to realize is this: why should I block when the comments that they're showing and they constantly talking, it is pushing my videos out so more people can see it because it's engagement. It doesn't matter what type of engagement. Good engagement, bad engagement, the algorithm, it doesn't. It's like, it's almost like the universe, right? The universe, it doesn't say, oh, it's good or bad. Because in the universe, there's no good or bad. It's just is. Okay? It's sort of the same exact thing. Okay? When people say stuff, it may be good. People say stuff, it may be bad, but it's really no good or bad. The algorithm, it doesn't distinguish the two. It doesn't say, all right, well, these people are hating on her video. Let's not push it out. No, the algorithm say, you know what? There's a lot of engagement in it. Let's let more people see it. And I love it. And I love that for me. You know why? Because then, I could do more things with my children. I could go more to the bank. It feels so good. It's just a wonderful time to be alive. You get what I'm saying? Do you get it? Now before I was on my way up out of here, now I'm going to stay a little longer. Just a little longer, honey. Now, so what I was saying was, so whatever it is, you have to see it for yourself, okay? You have to see it for yourself. And whatever belief systems that you tend to have about yourself, you see the numbers going up, Now there's 22 people watching. Soon it'll be 1,000 people, because the haters are going to hate, okay? And I'm here for it. I am here for it, honey. I am so here for it. I don't block. Okay, why? I know that you need to get some of this. Okay, you need to get this good word like Big Bird. You get what I'm saying? You need the word like Big Bird. So I'm here for this. Now, the next thing is this. If you guys are making content and it's so many people that make content that they are afraid to make content because they care so much what somebody else is going to say. Honey, listen, why are you so invested on what somebody else has to say as opposed of you going to the bank? I mean, which one? Like the kids say, 6, 7. Which one? Would you prefer to be a brokey? Okay. Oh gosh. In the words of Andrew Tate, I don't even really listen to Andrew Tate. My oldest son, he listened to Andrew Tate faithfully. But anyway, right? Would you prefer to be a brokey? Okay. Meaning that God gave you a gift. You can't be that overly concerned about what somebody else's perception of you is that you can't even rock out to the gift. You can't even deliver. You can't deliver the gift because you're so overly concerned. But let's do a visualization, shall we? Imagine you getting so many comments. All right. Now, comments are just comments. It's all according to what you put on the comments. Comments are just comments. Okay. Now, you can look at the comments and say, oh, that's a bad comment. You can look at the comment and say that's a good comment. Or you can say, you know what? They just commenting. Okay. And because of the comments and the engagement on the video, imagine this. You run up like 20 to 30,000 in a month. Just because of the comments, because of the gay engagement. It's so simple, so easy, but you got to get to know yourself. And that's why I highly recommend this book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Highly recommend it. If you have not read that book and you're a sensitive person, or if you're a person that feels like, what people say matters, it really doesn't. I mean, if you one of those, go get that book. 4 Agreements. The third chapter, I believe it is, take nothing personal. Nothing. Nothing. And you can say, oh, Dina, it came from my mama. Take nothing personal. Nothing personal. Because people are just showing you what they got going on. You don't understand it. They have poison within them. And they like, I want this person to have some of my poison. Right? You know, the saying, misery loves company. They miserable. They want you to partake in a misery. They want you to join a party. Didn't send no invitation, but just want you to join a party. And when you indulge in it, guess what? When you get upset about it, you start taking in the poison. They don't even know you. Like if a person see you down the street and they say, fatty, okay, and you turn around. I mean, was it the person who called you fatty, or was it yours? Now you get bent out of shape, you upset. Was it your fault because of you believed what they said about you? You know, it's all according to what you take, what you believe to be true about you. You believe to be true about you, guess what is true? You believe it's gonna be true. If somebody say certain things and you give in with that and you say, you know what, well, this person told, you know, you didn't believe you was ugly until people kept on saying you was ugly. Then you believed it. You believed it. But it comes to a point in time where you say, I don't give a damn what they say. I don't care. I'm really not. I'm not interested. I really don't care. I don't care what you have to say. I really don't. Listen, I'm on here, okay, to inspire, to encourage, to make a bag, to earn a bag. That's what I'm on here for. Okay? Inspire, encourage, and to earn a bag. Moolah. What they call it, the shanyan, the manyan, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? The money. Okay, that's why I'm on here. Okay, point blank. That's it. And so you think I'm gonna block people, or you think that I'm gonna say no, get the people off? No, let the people stay. I don't want them off. I want them on here. Okay, and I know you guys. You know you guys are so delightful. I mean, you are like my tribe, okay? My community. I love you guys wholeheartedly. But don't get rid of them. I want the trolls to troll. Don't you understand as hell my video is going to get pushed out? I want them to troll. That's how more people are going to see my video. They just doing they due diligence. They just doing a service. Let these people do. They not bothering nobody. They just telling on themselves. Let these people do what these people need to do. They here for purpose, and they purpose is to go around and stir the pot. Stir it. They want to stir the pot. They want to give people what they got going on. They want to give it to somebody. That misery, they want other people to join that misery, that party. They didn't even send an invitation. Where the invitation at, honey? The invitation got lost in the mail, I guess. But they want you to join it. And you have to ask yourself, when I'm on here, like, what's the purpose of me doing a video? I told you, encourage, inspire, and to earn money. That's what I'm on here for. And how the hell I'ma earn, okay? If I don't show up, why wouldn't I show up? And then two, if I'm gonna be blocking the people that has the most to say. If they have the most to say, why would I block them? They have a lot to say. Let them finish. Let them finish their thought. Okay. Let them finish what they got to say. Don't interrupt these. Don't interrupt these people. Interrupting these good old folks. These good folks that got something, a mouthful of shit. Let these people say what they need to say. Okay? They enjoying themselves. Who are you? Who are you to interrupt what they have to say? Who are you? Let them say it, okay? You know, we having a good old time over here, and the numbers is just going up. Come on. Come on. Don't get the panties in a bunch now. Let them say, get the stuff off their chest. Let them finish, all right? Now, where was I? Okay, where was I during this good old topic? So go get that book, The 4 Agreements. Matter of fact, do you mind if I get it and read it? Okay, let's do that. I think that's the most amazing thing. I go get the book, I read the book, and then we end it. Okay? All right, let's go. Let me go find it. All right, let's go, shall we? Class, school have started. All right, now let me find this part. This book, you need this. Okay, you may not know you need it. All right. Okay, now come on now. I'm joking, all right? But this is a good book to have in your collection. Definitely a good book to have in your collection. Some days I may have to go back and reread this, okay? Definitely hands down an amazing book. Now, let's go to this part, okay? Let's go to this part. I believe it's chapter 3. Yeah, it's chapter 3. You see, I've been class. What does this say? What does this say? Don't take anything personally. Okay? Don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. Ooh, don't take anything personally. Ooh, don't take anything personally. Ooh, honey, make me want to do a 2-step. Don't take anything personally. Ooh, don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. Okay? Don't take anything personally. It ain't about you. Always thinking things about you. Now, it says, the next 3 agreements are really born from the first agreement. The second agreement is don't take, and I got to say this with some emphasis so you could really get it. Don't take anything personally. All right. Now, whatever happens around you, don't take it personal. Using an early example, if I see you on the street and I say, hey, you are so stupid. Imagine that. I know some of you guys are like, oh, I wish I know some of you guys, I could hear it. I could feel the energy. I could feel the energy on through the phone. I know some of you guys are like, I wish it would say I'm stupid. And see, You just saying that alone, that means that you would take that personal. That means you would take if you are one of the people on here that's saying, I wish you would say I'm stupid. You one of the people that this may be for. Okay. Now, if I see you on the street and I say, hey, you are stupid without knowing you, it's not about you, it's about me. Okay. If you take it personal, then perhaps you believe you are a little stupid, a little dumb. Maybe you think to yourself, how does he know? Is he clairvoyant? This is what some of you guys believe, like how do the person know? Or can everybody see how stupid I am? You take it personal because you agree with whatever was said. And as soon as you agree, the poison goes through you. And you are trapped in the dream of hell. Hell is not a destination, it's a frequency. What causes you to be trapped is what we call personal importance. Personal importance, or taking things personally, is the maximum expression of selfishness. Because we make the assumption that everything is about me. During a period of our education or our domestication, we learn to take everything personally. We think we are responsible for everything. Me, always me. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. Or people live in their own dream, in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one we live in. When we take something personal, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world, and we try to impose our world on their world. Even when a situation seems so personal, even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. So even if your mama called you dummy, you fat, you good for nothing. Maybe your daddy say, oh, you's a good for nothing. You're just a reject. That had nothing to do with you. And I know it may seem so personal. It may seem like it's an attack on you, but it had nothing to do with you. They was just revealing what they had going on within themselves. People can't give you something that they don't have. Meaning, if someone, this is the best example I can give. You ever had an idea that you want to do something, right? And you go to somebody that never done any of that, what you want to do. And you go to them and you like, I think I'm going to open my own business. And that person is like, no, I don't think you should do that, because people, you going to lose money. You may not get a whole lot of sales. Like they have all that, like they could tell you down to the T why it's not going to work. But they never done it. They never done anything. But if you go to somebody that's successful and you like, oh, I want to open my own business. 9 out of 10 times, okay, they are going to, you could do that. Yeah, you could do that. Like they're going to encourage you. They're not going to try to discourage you. The ones that's going to try to discourage you is the ones that never done nothing. They have the most to say. They have the most to say. And so you can't listen to them. You can't listen to them. Like, I remember, and I love my mother wholeheartedly, but I remember when I was making videos and, I just started and I was putting on my business. And I was just saying, the lessons I learned and everything. I didn't care. I was detached from my experience, from the things that I went through. I didn't feel like I had something to protect. And so I just was putting it out just in case somebody else was going through. I just was sharing my truth. And I remember my mother was like, I know you on there, but I wouldn't put all my business out like that. My mother is not a content creator. And I'm not only saying content creators, I'm just saying like people that are in their truth, right? And living their truth, they don't mind. People that don't feel like they have something to overly protect, like this image or whatever, they don't care. They're gonna tell a truth. Is they truth. So let's move on. So it has nothing to do with you. What they say, what they do, and their opinions they give are according to the agreements they have in their own minds. Their point of view comes from all the programming they received during domestication. If someone gives you an opinion and says, hey, you look so fat, okay, you look so fat, don't take it personally, because the truth is that this person is dealing with his or her own feelings, beliefs, and opinions. Beliefs and opinions. Beliefs and opinions. That's their belief. That's their opinions. Do you accept if somebody gives you dog poop, are you gonna accept it? No, you're not gonna accept it, right? So why would you accept the shit that comes out of somebody else's mouth? Why would you accept it? Why would you say, oh yeah, get all upset, bent out of shape, okay? No, you don't accept it. If it's not going to do something for you, why accept it? Who knows? Okay. Now, it says that person tried to send you poison. That person tried to send poison to you. And if you take it personally, then you take that poison and it becomes yours. Taking things personally makes you easy prey for these predators, the black magicians. I remember when I first read this, I was like, but why I gotta be black? Right? Like the older part, the part of from the conscious community start coming. Why I gotta be black though? Why I gotta be black? We need to take a look at that. Why I gotta be black? Don Miguel Ruiz, right? They can hook you easily with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. And because you take it personally, you eat it up. You just eating it up. It's dog shit. You just eating it up. You're like, oh yeah. Oh, they said this about me. Oh yeah, they said this, they said that. You just eating up. You eat all their emotional garbage and now it becomes your garbage. But if you do not take it personally, you are immune in the middle of hell. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell is the gift of disagreement. When you take things personally, then you feel offended. And your reaction is to defend your beliefs and create conflicts. You make something big out of something so little because you have the need to be right and make everybody else wrong. You also try hard to be right by giving them your own opinions. In the same way, whatever you feel and do is just a projection of your own personal dream, a reflection of your own agreements. What you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreement you have made. And these opinions have nothing to do with me. It is not important to me what you think about me, and I don't take what you think personally. I don't take it personally when you say, Miguel, you are the best. And I also don't take it personally when they say, Miguel, you are the worst. I know that when you are happy, you will tell me, Miguel, you are such an angel. But when you are mad at me, you will say, oh, Miguel, you are such a devil. Wish-washy, okay? You are disgusting. How can you say those things? Either way, it does not affect me because I know what I am. I don't have the need to be accepted. I don't have the need to have someone tell me, Miguel, you are doing so good, or how dare you do that? No, I don't take it personally. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, I know it is your problem and not my problem. It is the way you see the world. It is nothing personal because you are dealing with yourself, not with me. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their own belief system. So nothing they think about me is really about me, but it is about them. You may even tell me, Miguel, what you are saying is hurting me. But it is not what I am saying that is hurting you. It is that you have wounds that I touched by what I have said. You are hurting yourself. There's no way that I can take this personally, neither. Okay. Not because I don't believe in you or don't trust you, but because I know that you see the world with different eyes, with your eyes. You create an entire picture or movie in your mind. And in that picture, you are the director, you are the producer, you are the main actor and actress. Everyone else is secondary actor or actress. It is your movie. Now make it work. Okay. You want me to finish this? If you want me to finish this, just tell me. Just put in the comments finish and I'll finish. I'll finish this part. Okay. Put in the comments. The book is The Four Agreements. Okay. I should put this in, you know what? I'm going to put this in my Amazon store so I could get a commission from it. I'm going to put this in my Amazon store. Okay. But this book is, let me tell you something, is excellent. Okay. By Don Miguel Ruiz. He has a few other books. Another book he has is Mastery of Love. Yikes. When I tell you Mastery of Love is so good, you going through a breakup, you need to heal from your childhood. What else? It has this part in that too. It is so, oh my goodness, it's so good. I read Mastery of Love, and the person I was in a relationship with, I was like, oh no, we done. You're toast, buddy. I was like, you're toast. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know, my inner child wanted the person to stay because it was familiar. The person was familiar and everything like that to my upbringing. But when I was reading that book, I was like, oh no, you gone, buddy. You're toast. Right? That book, oh my goodness, is such an amazing read. Mastery of Love. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz, he has like so many different books. I mean, it's really good. He's a really, really good author. And normally his books look like this. Okay. All right. So where were we? You are loving everything. Wait, hold on. The way you see that movie is according to the agreement you have made with life. Your point of view is something personal to you. It is no one's truths but yours. Then if you get mad at me, I know you are dealing with yourself. I am the excuse for you to get mad at. And you get mad because you are afraid, because you are dealing with fear. If you are not afraid, there is no way you will get mad at me. If you are not afraid, there is no way you will hate me. If you are not afraid, there is no way you will be jealous or sad. If you live without fear, if you love, there is no place for any of those emotions. If you don't feel any of those emotions, it is logical that you will feel good. When you feel good, everything around you is good. When everything around you is great, everything makes you happy. You are loving everything that is around you because you are loving yourself, because you like the way you are. So good. Isn't this good? This is so good. Because you are content with you, because you are happy with your life. You are happy with the movie that you are producing, happy with your agreements. You are happy with life. You are at peace and you are happy. You live in that state of bliss where everything is so wonderful and everything is so beautiful. In that state of bliss, you are making love all the time with everything that you perceive. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personal. If they tell you how wonderful you are, they are not saying that because of you. You know you are wonderful. It is not necessary to believe other people who tell you that you are wonderful. Don't take anything personal, even if someone got a gun. Oh, well, I don't think I could put that part in. I don't think I could put that part. Come on, Don. Okay. Even the opinions you have about yourself are not necessarily true. Therefore, you don't need to take whatever you hear in your own mind. Okay? In your own mind. Now you're talking about your mind. Your mind on time. Okay? Let's get that mind right. Let's get that mind right before it get left. Okay? Shall we? Shall we? Going into 2026. Okay? The gloves are off, ladies and gents. Okay? Let's get into this book. Okay? Now, it says, I think we need to just read that part again. You know, it has so much truth in it. I just think we need to. Now let's go over this part again, shall we? Let's go. Even the opinions you have about yourself are not necessarily true. You a reject. You're ugly. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're slow. You know, you're good for nothing. Are they true? Are they true? Because that's not how God see you. So it's not true. It is not true. Okay. Oh, but Dina, my mama said that. My daddy said that. Dina, you just don't know my grandmama who used to go to church every Sunday. She was so close to the Lord. Okay, she said it. I don't care if your grandmama was going to church, and no disrespect to your granny, no disrespect to her. I don't care if she was going to church every Sunday and doing the tithe, giving the tithes and all this other stuff. I don't care. Okay. Which God was she serving? You know? Because people serve different gods. You know, some people serve a stingy God. Some people serve a God that, you know, you bet not say nothing back. You know, some people serve a God that you gotta put people before you. I mean, you gotta weigh your options here. Okay, you gotta see what works for you. Now, if God don't look at you and say you're good, why would God created you and say you're good for nothing? Well, God created you and your granny, right? Going in, no disrespect to granny. You know, we love grannies. But, and you know, I'm a grandmother, okay? I'm a grandmother. I got 2 grandbabies, all right? But if your granny is going to church and every Sunday faithfully, you know, she got a white diamonds on, a perfume. Let's not get it misconstrued, okay? Got the wig to the left, not to the right. Now your granny going to church. And she comes back at a church and she's like, Oh, you was a good for nothing. Okay? And you grow up with this concept that you are good for nothing. That you can't seem to get you don't know your left from your right. Okay? Now, is that true? It's not true. You've been living like it's true, but is not true. Is a belief. And remember, beliefs can be changed. You know what I love about the truth? The truth, it can't be changed. The truth is just the truth. It cannot be changed. But a belief, it can be changed. Now, God said you love, okay? Now, your granny said that you were good for nothing, a reject. Now, which one you gonna listen to, Granny or God? I mean, come on now. Now, if God created Granny, I think your best bet is to listen to God and not Granny. I'm just saying. Okay, let's finish. All right. So, and I mean, it goes Granny, your school teacher, your elementary school teacher, whoever. Okay, that's what it's for. All right. Whatever you hear in your own mind personally, the mind has the ability to talk to itself. See, you've been thinking you've been going crazy. You know, you've been thinking, I know you've been thinking you've been going crazy. Okay. The mind has the ability to talk to itself, but it also has the ability to hear information that is available from other realms. Uh-oh. It has the ability to hear from other realms. Okay? Other realms. All right? Spiritual, you know, people that crossed over. Okay? You ever was outside or wherever a thought came to you and maybe somebody was riding a bike and and maybe a thought came to you like kick that person off the bike. You ever heard that? Like you ever heard something like that? That's not from you. It's just a thought. Because remember, we are all connected to one another. We are all connected. Right? So when people say, oh, we separate, separation is the greatest illusion. We are all connected. So, all right. Sometimes you hear a voice in your mind and you may wonder where it came from. This voice may have come from another reality in which there are living beings very similar to the human mind. The Toltecs call these beings allies. Is it allies? Allies. Honey, where are you going with allies and it's allies? All right. Allies in Europe, Africa, and India. They called them the gods. Our mind also exists in the level of the gods. Our mind also lives in that reality and can perceive that reality. The mind sees with the eyes and perceives this waking reality. But the mind also sees and perceives what without the eyes. Although the reason is hardly aware of this perception, the mind lives in more than one dimension. Parallel realities. Okay. There may be times when you have ideas that you don't originate in your mind, but you are perceiving them with your mind. You have the right to believe or not believe these voices. I remember listening to Miss Iyanla Vanzant, and one of the things she would say was the committee, right? She would call like the voices. She would say like the committee. The committee has so much to say, right? Like people, when she was growing up, they would tell, you know, all these different things, you know, you a failure, you all of this and that, right? And she will always say that is the committee that's speaking, right? So yeah, so the right to believe or not to believe these voices and the right not to take what they say personally. We have a choice. Oh, that's so good, Tracy. These people funny. Oh, you're welcome for the recommendation. Let me see. We have a choice whether or not to believe the voices we hear within our own minds, just as we have a choice of what to believe and agree with in the dream of the planet. The mind can also talk and listen to itself. The mind is divided as your body is divided, okay? Just as you can say, I have one hand and I can shake my other hand and feel the other hand. The mind can talk to itself. Part of the mind is speaking and the other part is listening. It is a big problem when 1,000 parts of your mind are all speaking at the same time. This is called a mitote. Remember, I think that's how you pronounce it. The mitote can be compared to a huge marketplace where thousands of people are talking at the same time. Each one has different thoughts and feelings. Each one has a different point of view. The programming in the mind, all of those agreements we have made are not necessarily compatible with each other. Every agreement is like a separate living being. It has its own personality and its own voice. Okay? Now, you guys go on and get you one of these. Okay, I gotta start cooking lunch. I think damn it, it's 1 o'clock. I've been on here almost 2 hours. Why nobody told me? Why nobody said, Dina, damn, you've been on here almost 2 hours. I mean, it was really good, wasn't it? The time we spent together, wasn't it good? The time we spent together, wasn't it good? The time we spent together, wasn't it good? Now, me reading this book, as I told you guys, somebody sent me a message yesterday and I was like, do. I went off. Okay, I went off. And it's not so much the people we don't know, okay, that's going to test us the most. It's the people that we know that's going to test us, okay? And a part of me feel like, dang, I should never said all that stuff what I said to them, Well, that just shows that I'm human too, and I have work to do on myself. Okay. I'm making justifications, but I'm just saying, I still have work to do on myself. But yeah, that message. ChatGPT was like, all right, now your name calling, like, and I don't even remember what name I called them. I just said to them, I said, you got the audacity. Like, listen, don't tell me what to do and what I can or what I cannot do. And now listening to it, I'm like, Dina, but it was about them. All right, Dina, it was about you telling them not to tell you. Because the person was like, they said to me, they was like, you should be embarrassed or something, right? And they was like, because I called around to see if they still had their job. And they was like, you should be embarrassed. And I said, embarrassed? It's about child support, okay? Like, why would I be embarrassed? And then I started texting, sometimes you could get a little happy when you're texting, and I just was like, oh, okay. Point 1, 2, 3 was right in damn near book, And then now as I'm reading this book, I'm like, all right, Dina. Well, ChatGPT actually said it yesterday. ChatGPT was like, all right, there's a wound, like the book said. And I could see why you feel that way. But let's address this. I mean, ChatGPT is like the damn therapist, other therapist, okay? Let's see. Put your hand on your heart and put one on your stomach and breathe and say this, okay? And I was like, all right. Okay, I could do better. I know I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. When you saying you're going to do better, it's like, it's like God is like, all right. Oh, are you really? Let's send her another test. Let's see if she gonna pass this test, okay? You know, and then you have the choice. So I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm sanctified. I'm not saying I'm holier than thou, okay? Because I just told you guys what I did yesterday. You know, because I did it something different, yes, but that's the past, okay? That's the past. Now, if I'm aware of, uh-oh, there was a trigger. Why did I feel that way? It creates this awareness. Whereas though next time I'm like, you don't even have to respond. Oh, you didn't know that was an option? Yes, you don't even have to respond to them. Okay. All right. And so ChatGPT was like, you don't even have to respond. Like you don't owe them an explanation. Just don't respond. You know, you choosing peace over ego. And I was like, okay, I like the way you think. I like the way you think in chat. I like the way you think in chat. I like that. I like that about you. You know, I like the way you think. You know, it is true. And I didn't respond, you know. So hey, you know, it is what it is. Okay. Listen, you're not here to be perfect. You are here to be made aware. Okay. You here for lessons, to learn, and to become aware. Right. Well, now when there's people in the comments, it's like, you don't know me, but it's like the people who will test those buttons the most are the ones that I don't want to say know you. I want to say the ones that may be the closest, you know, that may, you know, be able to, well, they can only get to you if you allow them to. Okay. All right, family. Listen, get the book. Okay, I'm gonna put this in my Amazon storefront, so it'll be a link here, so you could purchase the book from my Amazon storefront. Yes, I receive a commission. Yes, I do. But come on, you know, I read the book to you guys. Okay, well, some of the book, because I think, you know, it's better you get the book. So yeah, we support each other, doll faces. Okay, all right. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.